This going on a little early. See if we can get this started. All right, it looks like we are recording. This going on a little early. See if we can get this started. All right, it looks like we are. My name is Marty Connell, and I'm with the podcast Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and this is my first time ever doing a live stream, and I wanted to live stream the 20th anniversary of Portal. No, let's try that again. I wanted to live stream the Keynote from PortalCon, where they are celebrating their 20th anniversary of being in board game publishing. If you'll notice, there is a chat on the right side of the window. If you have any questions that you want to ask or anything, just let me know. The first 15 minutes, I thought we would just sit around and talk, speculate on maybe what games are going to be coming out, because full disclosure, Portal Games is one of our sponsors, but I have no clue what is going to be announced today. Ignacy has not tipped his hand at all, so I'm sitting here with everyone that's going to be watching, excited to find out what's going to be coming out this year. I do know supposedly he's to announce a game that's going to be coming out at Origins, a game that's going to be coming out at Gen Con, which I think is probably a bigger game, and then an Essen release. Plus, some things sprinkled out through the year. Some obvious things, expansions. We'll probably, I think, I'm trying to remember what he said for sure, an expansion to, was it Alien Artifacts? Maybe so. 51st State, I think he's working on an expansion for that. I don't remember him mentioning Imperial Settlers. The big one I'm looking for is not really an expansion now, is Stronghold Undead, which is it's going to be a standalone game for the original game Stronghold, but it's going to be published by Stronghold Games. Stephen Bonacore is going to be on our show this coming Tuesday. We've already recorded it, and he actually mentioned that, and we want to get confirmation. He said he didn't want to steal any thunder from Ignacy, so that's why I'm expecting to hear something today from that. Right now, it looks like we're supposed to go live. PortalCon's supposed to go live in about 15 minutes, and I'll be streaming it directly on this stream. Now, obviously, if you want a better feed, if you want to follow their stream, that's cool too. But I thought that as I watched it, I would share some thoughts, get your reactions. Again, chat in the window on what you are excited about. And right now, for anybody that's watching, if you got any ideas on what you think may be coming, on what you are excited about, sorry, just had to mute something. What you think that may be coming, what you would want to see, and we'll see what comes to fruition. So, some ideas on what I would love to see. I would actually like to see a more standard type Euro. The past 2 years, Ignacy's done for the big Gen Con release, he did First Martians, which is Euro-ish somewhat in itself, but it also has a really good theme, and it had the app involved. Then last year he came out with Detective, which amazing game, also had an app involved. I kind of wish, and I know he's into board games tell stories, but I kind of wish he would go back to more like a Cry Havoc style of game, where I felt there was kind of a good theme there, but it was a more of a Euro thinky type game. I would like to see them come out with something more along that lines than more of something more down the detective type line. And I don't know whether that'd be something that he himself would develop, or he would get, he does bring in other people's designs and brings them into house and have those designed. For example, Cry Havoc wasn't designed by Ignacy. He brought it in, and they kind of tweaked some of the design from there. And I think they may have actually changed the theme and brought it out there. Somebody just commented, TR just commented, I want to see a Legacy 51st State. Okay, that's got to be a joke, right? I'm trying to think, could you do a Legacy 51st State? Now, I don't know if you're kidding or not, TR, but there actually could be a way that if you play 51st State and you build a building, that building stays in play forever. So you put a building into play, and then in the future you start and your player board already has maybe that building in play. So maybe you could actually do something like that. And excuse me as I'm looking down at the screen, because I'm actually going to share this on Twitter that it's live, because I can't believe I actually got this up and working first time. I'm using a different tool to stream, and I got the mics and everything up and running. So I'm kind of surprised it worked so well as far as the stream goes right off the bat. I'm going to tweet this real quick, and if you see it on Twitter and want to retweet it, that's great. For the PortalCon. Dead air. I know, never have dead air. There. Let's see. 51st State. This is from Bert. Said, I've never played 51st State. Have you... It's weird having a conversation with somebody that can't talk back to you. If you've ever played Imperial Settlers and you like Imperial Settlers as an engine building, card driven engine building game, I actually think I may like 51st State a little bit more, and so does Tony. By the way, where is Tony? Tony, I thought, was going to try to make it. Last night I contacted him. I said, hey, get online. Let's get your feed merged into this thing. And he never contacted me. So I know he's an early morning riser, but I guess he was too busy to get on and test this out this morning. Back to 51st State. The thing I like about 51st State over Imperial Settlers is played over a course of rounds. 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds. And to me, it felt like it was, you know exactly when the game is going to end, which I typically like. I like in-game timers. The way that 51st State ends of Imperial Settlers is 51st State ends on the first person to reach, I believe it's 20 points. What makes that cool is once you see somebody creeping up 12, 13, 14, 15 points, then what happens is there's a sudden race to the end. And when you see there's a leader, then you do things to try to attack them. You try to take resources from them. If you have anything that can affect other players, you typically go after them. And it's a very tense experience, more so than Imperial Settlers is. So that's one of the main takeaways I have, the difference between the two. I think the factions are way more different in Imperial Settlers. The way the factions play are totally different, more so than on 51st State. The starting boards on the 51st State just vary a little bit, but other than that, they play pretty much the same. But it's the end game that drives what drives the end of the game that I think makes it a more pleasant experience for me. Jerry says, none of us can believe you got this working either. I can't either. And since people are talking back to me, I now know that it is working. And we are, 10 minutes away from PortalCon starting up. And at that point, I'll shut up. What I'll do is we'll watch it together. I'll make some little comments here and there. As he announces games. I'm sure they'll do the typical, it's been 20 years, it's been a great 20 years, and probably give a little bit of history of the game. I think I saw Ignacy tweet the other day that he's pulling out pictures from the past, over the past 20 years. So he may do like a little video thing, like maybe a little sad video with some sad piano music behind it, make us cry as we look at the past 20 years of PortalCon. But I like, just get to the games. Or if Tony was here, he would just say, get to the games. How good is Stronghold? Have never played it. Stronghold, we have an episode many years ago where we covered Stronghold. And when it comes to 2-player games, when people think of big, massive 2-player games that they're really popular recently, War of the Ring is a highly popular game because it's an asymmetric game, 2-player only, very thematic. Then Star Wars Rebellion, and if you don't know how to play, I can't help you because there's never been a video made on how to play. Inside joke. That is a very popular 2-player game. For me, I've never played War of the Ring, but I've played Star Wars Rebellion. I like Stronghold more than Star Wars Rebellion, and there's 2 reasons why. One is an asymmetric game. So one is you're playing in the stronghold itself. You're trying to protect from being invaded from people on the outside, and the other person plays the person who's trying to get into the castle or into the stronghold. But the way that you take your turns of basically giving resources to the other player, the stronghold player gives resources to the other player, the person that's trying to evade, that they can use on their turn. So the more the stronghold player does, the more that the other player can use in order to try to, invade and send out orcs and different types of things to try to take over the walls or bombard the walls and destroy the walls. So it's very thematic. It is the asymmetric play makes it one of my favorite 2-player games of all time. I just think it flows well. I love the card mechanics of basically you start with a line of cards and you start on your left and you resolve each one at a time if you want to. If you have the resources to resolve it, you go right down the line and do so from the invading player side. And on the other player, it's about deploying resources to build up walls, to put archers on this section of the wall. It's just really, really well done. And I'm excited about the Stronghold Undead because now it's a standalone game. The beauty of that is if you don't have Stronghold, the base game, it doesn't matter. They will merge the two, from what I understand, but you can just buy it as a standalone game in itself. So if you've never played Stronghold, I highly recommend it. Let me see. Let's see. Just reading through the comments here. Legacy code names. If you made code names, okay. So funny story. Let me just catch up with the comments here. Okay, funny story on Legacy code names. I got to spend the weekend with Rob Davio this past Saturday. He came into Charlotte with a lot of friends, and Tony and I went and hung out with him and played some games. Rob Davio, if you may not know, is the guy who invented the whole legacy mechanic. So he's the one that decided, they came up with the legacy idea, legacy pandemic, and now it's been spread across to, betrayal, legacy, etc. So he said constantly people are coming up here. So what about Legacy X? What about this Legacy X? Well, one of the things that he was just announced last week that was leaked, and if you listen to our upcoming episode with Stephen Bonacore, what was leaked was Legacy Terraforming Mars. So we asked Rob, hey, what's this Legacy Terraforming Mars? And he goes, I have no idea. He said, people out of the blue just contacted me. Hey, I can't wait to play Legacy Terraforming Mars. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So everything that has a legacy feel, Rob's not involved with. So the legacy code names is funny because we come at him and with the whole joke, and he's getting sick of it. We would like, hey, Rob, why don't you make a legacy this, legacy that? And he's kind of getting tired of it. But anyway, so legacy code names made me think of that, which is kind of funny. Oh, something's happening. Oh, it looks like we may be going live over here. It's he's 5 minutes early, but I'm not hearing any sound from him. Is anybody else hearing anything? Hold on, there's a couple of the questions have pop up. He just maybe he's making sure that this works. Oh boy. I'm sorry. This is. There he goes. I hear it now. He's speaking in Polish, so until he speaks English, we're going to keep on going. So some other questions that came in. What's my favorite Portal game of all time? I would say Stronghold, but since it's, I'm going to say Stronghold. Even though it's published by Stronghold Games, it is my favorite. After that, 51st State's up there. I love Neuroshima Hex as a 2-player game. I really adore that game. And that's why I was excited to see Monolith Arena come out, which basically is going to kind of give a rebirth to that style of game, but just add in the monoliths as part of the gameplay. So if you haven't tried those, I highly recommend checking those out. Let's see. I would love an updated release of Neuroshima RPG. I've asked him about that. He said there's no way he'll ever do it. He said that the Neuroshima RPG was way...
So for all of us, for all of you who watch us live on YouTube,
excuse me for a second,
please call your friends and call your teammates to join us so we have as many viewers as possible, because we are starting in few minutes with the new announcements from Portal Games for this year.
Okay. So he's just saying, hey, everybody, go contact people. People are clapping. Yay. All right. So as far as Neuroshima Hex, RPG. He said he'll never do it. The reason why is because the themes were way, way, way too adult. He said it was way almost too sophomoric. He says he thinks it's cool that people want it so bad, but he just doesn't see himself doing it. Now, moving over to 5e rules is cool, but I still think he said that the theme of the game and the way that he set up the factions, he said there was just a lot of issues with how he did that a lot of people will probably be offended by today. So that's why he said he probably may never do it. Let's see. What do you think are the odds of Ignacy announcing some form of legacy game? 10%? I agree. I think it's low. I think it's low. Oh, look, Tony's in here, but Tony should be on the feed right now. If he would, like Skype in or something like that, and I can add him right here to the feed like I suggested he do last night so I can have a two-person conversation instead of trying to talk by myself. I assume he's got them. Since I know the audio is working over there, as soon as he gets started, I will crank it up here. Look, all you got to do is just... I'm sorry, a conversation with Tony here. All you got to do is just Skype. I can start up Skype. Give me a call, and I'll add you right into this thing real quick. In fact, it'll be super easy when the PortalCon starts, and we're kind of watching that. I'll have time to kind of get that set up. So I've got Skype running. Just buzz me, man. And I never saw a text from you, so there. Let me verify I did not see a text. I'd be embarrassed if I did. Oh, at 9:32 when I'm already setting up. Why? I was supposed to be last night. Jeez. Ding, 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 ding. So we're about 1 minute away. Again, I expect the first part of this will be the history of PortalCon, history of Portal, some games that have come out with over the years, maybe some pictures. He said that this is only going to be 30 to 45 minutes. As things pop up, hit up in the chat. Let's see what people are excited about that he announces. Again, has anybody... He's talking Polish, so we can skip that part. If anybody thinks what may be coming out, what do you think? Will it be a very...
Hello, this is Ignacy Ciuczek, Portal Games.
All right, he's starting up. All right, let's just check in and let's listen, and we'll comment as we go.
Live from Poland, from Gliwice. We are celebrating today 20th birthday of Portal Games, my company. And yes, we will have a cake in a moment, we will have a champagne in a moment, but before that, a few nice announcements about our upcoming games. Let's start with looking to the past, for the past few months. Can I have a click?
In the 9th position, we have Detective, a modern crime board game from Portal Games.
My number 8 is Portal Games Detective. My number 7, guess what? It's from Portal Games Detective, a modern crime board game.
I am putting Detective, a modern crime board game, and Chronicles of Crime in the same spot.
My number 2 and your number 1 is
Detective! So they're both 7. That's going to be Chronicles of Crime and Detective.
The next one is Detective, a modern crime board game.
My number 8 is Detective from Portal Games.
My number 4, Detective, solid.
Thank you, click.
He should do this after Squirrely Wars. I'm
just saying.
Year, just saying.
2018, we are very proud what we achieved with Detective. We are very proud of what our friends from Chronicles of Crime achieved. Absolutely a stunning year for us. And for them, for us,
wow.
More than 86,000 copies sold worldwide of Detective last year. As you can imagine, this is the highest number we ever had.
Wow.
Better than all our other previous games. So it was Detective for us. And can I have a click? And just this week we got the nomination for the expert category for Detective. Other games in this category is Keyforge, so it is Asmodee versus Portal Games. I love this challenge, so we will see in a couple of weeks.
Golf clap.
In a couple of weeks in Cannes, we will see was the best game according to the France in the category of expert. Thank you for that. It is a absolutely stunning year for us, and we are very, very proud. With Detective, can I have another slide?
Alexa, open Detective the board game.
Welcome in the Detective, Case 6, Suburbia. Headquarters of Antares, Ohio Branch, February 13th, 8 a.m. EDT.
Alexa, look around the neighborhood and question the neighbors.
The house at 602 Dawnview Street has a view looking upon several of the neighboring houses. You log into the system and gather information about the...
Using Alexa. Are you serious?
The door is opened by a middle-aged woman wearing a sporty outfit.
Alexa, final report.
What was the motive for Susan Novak's murder?
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh my gosh.
We are very happy to announce that Detective is going for Alexa with the free case number 6, Suburbia, available in a few weeks for free for everybody who wants to play Detective and play Suburbia case. We believe that Detective is a game that has a wide appeal, and everybody can actually just recommend to play Detective to their friends, to their family, and they can live it like a radio drama. We know it from the previous years, from the past times, when people were actually listening to the radio, and now Detective in the form of this drama is a perfect way to have a game night with your friends, just listening to this amazing case, making notes and trying to solve it. So this is it. This is what we were working for a past few months. Detective on Amazon Alexa, I hope in a very, very few weeks, available for free for everybody. So you can play it, you can learn. We make this case a little bit easier in terms of the mechanism, so it is a little bit changed in terms of the rules, so it can be played with only audio, and Alexa is doing all the paperwork, I would say, and in making the game easier, and you are just listening, being immersed, and playing the game. So this is one of the projects we were working for the same time. Can I have a next slide, please?
I forgot. He asked me to play test this
and
several
of
weeks
course,
ago.
LA Crimes, we already
but I didn't know what it was.
here in the Polish keynotes, but let's remind, it will be released in March 2019, so very, very close. 3 new cases, 1 big campaign. We are moving the time story to the 80s. The case takes place in 1986, September, in Los Angeles, and we have a new mechanism. We have, of course, new scenarios, new killers, new cases to solve. We are very proud of that, and it will be, as I said, in March 2019 release. So it's coming, and I can't wait to see you playing the game. So if you are playing Detective and not finished yet the base game, it's high time to finish the base game, because the new cases are coming, and you need to find killers. So this is it. Can I have a next slide, please?
Nice. March. Can't wait. Highly recommend this game if you never had it. Don't have it.
Alexa, open Portal Games.
Welcome in a Portal Games skill. What is your question?
Tell me about the blue net.
When the Dragon Empire plays the net order, they place a blue net token on any champion, rune or banner. Netted tile, cannot attack, use any feature or move until the end of the next battle. The blue net token should be removed afterwards.
That is great! Oh my god!
Alexa, how many net tiles Dragon Empire has?
The Dragon Empire has 12 order tiles in total. 7 battle tiles that can be alternatively used to activate charge, 4 move tiles, and a single net tile.
Alexa, does the rune of disarmament stop charge?
When a champion charges into a space connected to the rune of disarmament, it ends the move but does not attack as it's now affected by the rune.
Rodney Smith's out of a job.
Alexa, open Portal Games.
Welcome in a Portal Games skill. What is your question?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's a
Portal
great
Games
idea.
is known for terrible rulebooks, and I don't like this reputation, so we did everything we can to help you play our games. And yes, we did a terrible rulebook for 51st State. I wrote it back then. We did terrible rulebook for Robinson Crusoe. It was once again, I was involved. We did terrible rulebook for the first Martians. That was not my fault. But we have a long story of saving you, our fans. You are buying our game, you have high hopes to have a great time with the game, and then there is this problem, the rulebook. The first Martian problem was devastating for me personally and for the whole company. We promise it will never happen again. And indeed, in 2018, both our rulebooks for Detective, for Monolith Arena, for Amazon Faction, all of that was perfect, was clear, was easy to understand, and there was no issues.
I agree.
But my belief is that having a clear to understand rulebook is not enough. It is just a standard thing. It is a normal thing to have a rulebook that explains how to play the game. We need to excel. We need to show that our failures were changed to something much, much better. So here we have, as a first board game company, using Alexa skill to help you play our games. We are experimenting right now with the Monolith Arena, and it is in works right now. You can play Monolith Arena and ask literally any question about the rules, and we put answers for every single question. It is playing Monolith Arena as if Michael Orach was sitting next to you, just answering all your questions. You will never have to browse the rulebook again. You will read it once when you start the game, and then you will start the game, and then anything you doubt, anything you want to ask, you just ask Alexa, and we have answers for you prepared. We hope to have every single game released this year with this feature, and we are waiting for feedback for you. And we really hope that the disaster that was the first Martians, we are able to change into something super successful, and in the future, in 3, 5, 10 years, Portal Games will be known as a best user experience games with the rules that are clear, smooth, and with watch it play the videos before you start the game, or with Alexa answering every single question you might have for the game. We hope that you will recognize Portal Games in the future as a company that helps you play the game and not sabotage you. So this is our plan, and this will happen. This is going to happen this year. Monolith Arena will be the first. You can test, you can play, you can play more like that, and then the new games as well. We are coming with the skills.
Amazing. Great idea. Fantastic. People are going to steal this, guarantee it.
Last year,
not steal it, but copy it.
Literally every reviewer was saying, great game, I cannot wait for the expansions. We didn't announce the expansion, but they were waiting already, so yes, we had something. Of course, we had something. Academics, the new army designed by Michael Orach and developed by Michael Walczak. Very few units, well-trained army with lots of runes that support this units.
I don't know if you can hear me, but
banner that
it's gotten low.
Opponent unit, so if you are
Owning
having a
Nazi.
slow unit, it may be killed before it actually attacks the banner. And Academics army will be released this year at Gen Con. It is in development right now. It's awesome. And Monolith Arena, yes, as you were expecting, we are going to support this line, the new armies, because Michael Orach is a genius, and we love to give you more and more and more armies. But there were many questions about what will happen to Neuroshima Hex. So I'm happy to announce, that of course, yes, we are not abandoning Neuroshima Hex. Of course, we have new stuff for you. Hello world, I told you that people love Neuroshima Hex in Poland here, right? Sand Runners, designed by Michael Walczak. This is the guy who co-created Cry Havoc, who works with Michael Orach very closely, who is absolutely genius and loves tactical games. He was working with us for Neuroshima Tactics back then, and this is his army, Sand Runners, as you can already see here. Double.
Looks like I got a streaming error. I got you on Ignacy. I'm going to have Tony call in after this is over, and then we'll chat. All right, so Tony is gone. Looks like they're having a streaming error over there. That's no good.
Hey, Stephen Bonacor here, coming to you from sunny Florida, USA. Sorry I couldn't be with you today
Does it sound better?
in Poland. Too cold for me. But Ignacy, partnership with Stronghold Games and Portal Games. Stronghold Undead. Go!
Steven forgot to mention his street dates, but his next street date is Flaming Rouge Metal, as far as I remember, released this week. But Kickstarter for Undead. This is a new news. We presented Stronghold Undead during the Essen show, that we are going to release it as a standalone game. And now the update for that is that we are starting Kickstarter May 2014, 2019. We are doing it with Stronghold Games. And why is that? Because we believe that Stronghold is amazing two-player game, but it's a heavy, it's difficult, and it will never have a mass market appeal. So we decided to go with the Kickstarter to present you the game with the amazing stretch goals, with amazing value, with new things added to that. Go directly to you. You will find this game appealing, we hope. And then, of course, there will be some print for the distribution. But basically, we are focusing on going directly to you with Kickstarter and the experience of Stronghold Games.
Not happy.
And in May, we hope to have support from you. Stronghold Undead, once again, I want to remind you, there will be standalone game in the line of Stronghold. New forces of evil, new forces of good guys defending the castle. And you know the story. It's an absolutely amazing two-player game, very niche, very difficult, quite thematic, but the Euro game. We hope that you will support us very, very soon. And now time for something newish. Can I have a click?
I'm not happy, not because it's
So
going Kickstarter, because that's going to be a
it is
while
really
before we
coming.
get it.
For years we were teasing you with the new edition of Pret-a-Porter, and we are teasing you with the new changed theme, but there are so many of our fans asking us to keep the old crazy theme that we said, okay, let's do the old theme, but because it's a very risky and very crazy, we are going with the Kickstarter with that. So there will be Kickstarter campaign. We signed Kwanchai Moria, one of the best illustrators in the industry right now. He did Dinosaur Island, for example, and he's doing the whole artwork. We are changing the components. We are, of course, changing the rulebook. That's obvious. We are adding new cards, we are adding new abilities, we are doing a full-blown amazing Kickstarter for you, because this game, heavy Euro game from Portal Games, designed by me many, many years ago, deserves absolutely stunning edition with the Kickstarter new support. We hope it will be absolutely dream edition with the great components, great rulebook, great new abilities and powers. And well, it's coming as soon as we finish the Kickstarter for Stronghold Undead. We'll be able to announce the date for the Kickstarter for Pret-a-Porter, but it is coming this year. The artwork is in progress. You can see the cover is ready. The first illustration for the cards are in progress. So yes, it is. It's happening. It's happening this year, and we hope to deliver the game even this year. We'll see in upcoming months if we can do this. Third edition of Pret-a-Porter coming hopefully this year. Can I have a next slide, please?
That's one of those games that we guess every year, but finally
and
it's happening.
Been a phenomenal 5 years. Impia Settlers was released in 2014. We all together released, as you can see, more than 700 cards. I could never imagine that back then in 2014 when we were going for our first Gen Con. 3 big expansion, 3 small expansion. It was a great, great journey. And as Mr. Tolkien in Lord of the Rings says, if there's a journey, we need the help. So yes, we have something for you for this journey. Can I have a click?
I've never played Pret-a-Porter.
My bow and my axe and my sword. Yes, we have a big box for you guys. There's a big box to store everything that was already released for the game. This is us celebrating 5 years anniversary for Imperial Settlers. In this big box, we will have a great plastic insert that store all the cards and have some space for more, of course. It has alternative factions that are not cut in the half, because I know there's so many of you pissed off on these Aztecs, Amazons, and Atlanteans factions. And there's a new deck of the common cards, the absolutely new abilities and things. This one thing, this sword or bow or axe, will be available for you only through our web store. So this is an exclusive item only for you. It will not in distribution, not in the game stores. It's only for our hardcore fans who have all these expansions, all these promos, and have no clue how to store it. We have a clue, and we have a big box for you to celebrate 5th birthday of Imperial Settlers.
Nice.
And can I have the next click, please?
So no larger fonts, but that's great. An app? Are you kidding me? Is it a
I'm happy to announce a brand new game, standalone game, set in the world of Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North. Absolutely new game that will be released hopefully this Gen Con. This year we have 3 new factions. that works absolutely different than in a base game because it's a new game. And for each of these factions, we have 2 different decks. So altogether in this box, you will find 6 unique decks. You can choose any of these decks to play. There is no need to deck build. There's no need to customization. You are just picking, I want to play Peaceful Vikings against Fearful Scots, for example. And you are just picking 2 decks and you play the game. A lot of work done, but for all the fans of the Imperial Settlers, hopefully very interesting game. It has a different mechanism, it has a different objectives, it has a different rules, but it is the same all the Imperial Settlers. It's an engine building game. There are lots of combos, lots of interesting cards and possibilities, and of course cute artwork. And we checked off from the list of the factions for Imperial Settlers 3 factions. It was very smart of us. This one baby is coming at Gen Con, as I said, hopefully. And yes, this is our big release for Gen Con, but we have something more yet. So can I have a click?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh my gosh. Oh,
surprise.
Gosh. Are you serious?
Everybody's on this.
Oh, that's funny.
Roll and White for the win, right? This is the team of the year. Everybody has their own roll and write, and I believe that this cute artwork for Imperial Settler is the best way to make a roll and write game. So of course we did it. Is a new game in this line of Imperial Settlers. It is engine building game, which is very interesting because in most of the roll and write games, you start with a lot of spaces where you can put the numbers, and with each round you have less and less spaces, and you have this problem where to put the numbers. Here it is quite opposite. You start with very few possibilities because you have not enough resources, but because it's an engine building game, you will have a chance to build new buildings. Each game has in each game you have 6 buildings, and you have to choose which buildings to build and which resources to trade for the victory points, like in engine building games. And it depends on you at what point you will change to switch to make victory points and no longer build the buildings. But we have more. We have here, as you can already see, we have 2 modes of play, a challenge mode and adventure mode. Challenge mode is a standard mode, as in most roll and write games. So we have sheets of paper, everybody gets 1 sheet, roll dice, make some numbers, does some stuff, etc. We know that. But the adventure mode is something absolutely new. In this mode, you will get a notepad with 48 unique sheets of paper. Each time you play, you have a completely different set of buildings and different abilities and different possibilities. And with that, we call it adventure mode because we expect you will play solo. Each time you play, you have different buildings, different possibilities to score. So you have a challenge mode when you play with your friends, everybody has the same sheet, or you play at home solo, and you have each time you play, it's something different. So these are 2 notepads included in roll and write. Engine building, as I said, so it is a tough choice when you stop building and start actually scoring, selling the resources, and it is cute because it's Imperial Settlers World. So this is roll and write from us. Can I have and one more thing, and release at UK Game Expo, one of the biggest shows in Europe. Very successful for us last year, so this year we are going to UK Game Expo with this brand new release.
Which means it should
it's
be
very soon because it's I guess is it June or July? I think it's June. UK Game Expo very soon. Roll and write from Imperial Settlers. Can I have a next slide?
I love the name.
So this is all
Imperial
that we want to
Settlers
announce from the things that we design, the things that we are working with our development team, with Asha, with me, with Matt, and all my playtesters. The deck was very successful last year. Sandrunners, we support Neuroshima Hex, Empire of the North, brand new standalone game set in the world of Neuroshima, in the world of Imperial Settlers, brand new game, roll and write for Imperial Settlers. We confirm Pret-a-Porter Kickstarter this year, LA Crime coming in March, Stronghold Undead in May. We start Kickstarter and deliver at the end of the year. Academics for Monolith Arena itself for Alexa. New feature and a big box for our hardcore fans. And of course, as every single good keynotes, we have something more. So can I have a click?
Oh, here it comes. Okay. Detective Universe. I knew this was coming.
proud and thrilled to announce a new line of expansion for Detective, written and designed by the best storytellers in the industry, Rob Daviau, Pandemic Legacy, and Mike Selinker, Pathfinder. This will be a standalone case, so it's a one case you can play with your friends, not campaign, not something that you have to devote the whole group for the sum of the weeks. No, we are just having one game night and having absolutely amazing case. These two gentlemen, I'm personally big fan of them. For me, they are icons of the industry, and both are fans of Detective. So we are very proud and very happy to understand and know that they are going to write for us cases. These cases, hopefully this year, later this year, from these two gentlemen, and we hope to have more for you standalone cases from other designers. This is our year for this year. New expansion for Detective, new expansion for Monolith Arena, new expansion for Neuroshima Hex, and of course two new games, Imperial Settlers Roll and Ride and Imperial Settlers Empire of the North. That's it from the thing that we design here in-house in Poland. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments on YouTube, you can put them in the comments. I will answer them. For all of you here, of course, I'll be here for you right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nice, nice. I'm excited about standalone detective adventures because then you can just sit down one night and play it, and not have to worry about getting together and doing it over and over again.
Tak mówimy, czy nie mówimy tak? Mówimy tak. I możemy powiedzieć światło już normalne takie?
All right, so he's going into Polish now.
Mamy. Czy są jakieś pytania? Jeśli są jakieś pytania, to jeszcze możemy sobie szybko zrobić pytania, bo potem przechodzimy w fazę tortu i szampana. I w ogóle osoby szampanowe i tortowe mogą już wnosić te torty szampany, jeśli chcą. Jakie pytania? Robinson Crusoe Mystery Tales is on time. It will be released in March. We have confirmation that it left manufacturer in China. It is very, very safe, hopefully, on the boat, and it is making to States and Europe both at the same time, so March is safe.
Okay, that's one interesting thing for Tony to know.
No questions?
Turn him down just a tad.
Dla której gry? Dla obu. Zarówno Stronghold, jak i Prêt-à-Porter są bardzo niszowymi grami. Stronghold to jest gra na 2 graczy, bardzo ciężka. Ona nie zrobiła furoru, wyszła jako podstawka. Nie zrobi. To jest ciężka bestia i możemy ją sprzedać tylko do ludzi, którzy ją chcą. Znaczy nie sprzedamy do przypadkowych ludzi. Więc Kickstarter jest jedną opcją. To samo z Prêt-à-Porter myśmy rozważali przez lata, znacie to z naszych różnych wywiadów i vlogów. Chcieliśmy to wydać jako grę otworzoną.
All right, I'm going to turn him down. See, staying in Polish, so unless anybody here can understand Polish. All right, so people, what do y'all think? The games that were announced, what are you excited about? I'm going to see if I can get Tony back online over here, and we'll discuss. And I'm going to There we go. All right, so now you can hear me. All right. So, let us know in the comments. I'm going to see if I can get Tony added over here, and we'll talk about this. So, give me just a second here. Let me see if I can find Tony. Or maybe not. So, Tony, what'd you think? I don't know if people can hear you or not. So, see, this is why we're supposed to do this before. But like, no, that's all right. Last night, could have done it last night, but no. This is how things work behind the scenes here. I need to go turn off. He's still in my ear. Portal is. All right, so Predaporter. Originally he was going to do that as a retheme. So it's interesting to hear that he's decided, you know what? Nope, it worked before as with that theme, and we're going to try it again. So I think that's cool. The roll and write, we all should have called that, right? I mean, the roll and write thing is a big thing now. So, and of course, I mean, and what's cool about that, I think, is the campaign mode where you can play as single player. That's gonna be neat because then you can just play at home by yourself. What else was there? The Kickstarter. The thing I was really disappointed in was the Kickstarter for Stronghold Undead, because I was really wanting it to come out earlier, and now I guess it's not. So that, for me, that stinks. But whatever. I guess I know, but I hope it's going to come out the end of the year, at least. I guess we'll see. And Tony, for some reason, decided to drop off. So it's back just to me again. Let's see. The Alexa integration. Yes. I can't believe people hadn't thought of this before. The fact that you can sit down, and this is true. The example that they use with Monolith Arena is a fantastic idea, because I can totally see sitting there and asking a question, hey, how does this unit work? And it'll explain to you how that unit works. So I think that's a fantastic idea. The rule book integration in general. Now, of course, it's going to be the really weird things that people are like, hey, how does this one particular small thing work? And will that be part of the Alexa app? That part, I don't know, because once you get down to the nitty gritty of details, I bet you the high level rules will probably be answered. But what about the little nitpicky things, the little what ifs? So what if this happens and this happens? What's the ruling on that? I think that would be the tougher thing to answer. But I think just having, what would be cool is with Alexa is having some sort of tutorial, like, Alexa, how do I set up Imperial Settlers? And then it walks through the steps, shuffle this deck, do this, do that sort of thing. If it includes something like that, I think that would be really sweet. I'm going to try to add Tony one more time here. Let's see. That is not correct. I see him, but it's getting him added to the screen. That is not right. Tony, if you're still there, could you do me a favor, and instead of Skype, could you do a Google Hangout, please? Thank you. I think that may work. You have to have a special version of Skype. And I think he's probably on his iPad because he won't get a regular laptop. All right. So tell me what else got here. What were you excited about? What other games did y'all hear that y'all liked? So what's the, in the chat, let me know. What's the one game that you're most excited about? Is it the new Imperial Settlers games? And I can't think of the name of it. The one that's coming out at Gen Con. Is it one of the two new Kickstarters? Predaporter, Stronghold, Undead? What were the other brand new games? I think the others were kind of extensions of something that already exists, as far as, the expansions to, okay, all right. So even though it's an expansion, the other integration with Alexa, the detective integration is, with Alexa, okay, that's pretty flipping cool, because then you don't even need the computer. The fact that you can just sit there with a device and actually it'll walk you through the case and it'll narrate for you. So that'd be nice not to have to do a lot of reading too, because I don't know if you ever played detective. There's a lot of text on that card, and through the night, if one person's reading, you really need to take turns reading, because there's just a lot of stuff that you got to read through the course of the game. And what you tend to do is you start skipping over stuff. So as later in the game, you'll be reading whatever, and then you start skipping, and you may miss something that's pretty important. Let's see here. Empires of the North. That's it. Is Empires of the North only 2-player? I don't think. Oh, he did say choose 2 decks. I don't think he said that. I don't think that he said whether it was 2-player or not. Didn't he say something like there were 4 decks, but you choose 2 decks, which I think might imply that does kind of sound like 2-player. Let's see what else we got. So last year at Gen Con, I had talked to Ignacy about, hey, how you gonna do some more cases? Are you gonna write some more? And he said, hey, we're actually going to get some other developers to write them. And the first person he mentioned was Rob Davio. And I mentioned earlier before the stream started that Rob Davio was in town last week, and I got to ask him, how's that going? And he's actually still working on it. He's got the story kind of laid out, but he hasn't really gotten into it yet. So since it's just a one case thing, the nice is that sorry, I'm trying to call Tony here. The nice thing is that the one shots, there's just one one setting, one scenario. I like that because you don't have to sit there and try to plan. It's like, okay, we got together. Now when we're going to get together again and finish this case, the idea that you just get a bunch of friends or family and just sit down one night, do a case, and be done with it, then you're good. And Tony will need to turn down his audio. And let me see if I can add this here. So I think Tony is now online. If I can just get him added, then we are going to be good to go. And so Tony, first, can people hear Tony? Tony talk. If you can hear Tony in the chat, let me know. And the screen goes blank because, hey, Tony should be there, but he's not there, is he? They can't hear. Okay, so let me kill this. All right, see you. All right, so hey, first stream ever. So we can't hear him. Tony can talk in the chat. Too many Kickstarters this year. There are a lot of Kickstarters. Is TR doing the? So TR's not doing the rules for Undead. TR Knight's good. Good friend of ours. Let's see. Just looking through the. Sorry about all the issues. We will make sure that we will get this taken care of in the future. Apologize for that. It's horrible. It's worth a lot of thumbs down probably at this point. Don't do this. Try to do it. Don't do it live. That's what they should say. So so Ben says each faction only has 2 decks. That's good. Just stick to podcasting. I agree. I 100% agree. This was kind of an out of the blue thing. And what's interesting is he didn't go as long. Ignacy did not go as long as I thought he would. I thought he would end up going, 30 to 45 minutes. So he got them all knocked out pretty quick. So let's think about the release dates of these. So we had, let's see, the Kickstarter Undead was coming in May. Hopefully released by the end of the year. We've got the Roll and Write at the UK Games Expo. And the UK Games Expo is typically just right before Origins. So I'm hoping that they have them there. But last year, Portal did not have a booth at Origins. So I'll follow up with Ignacy and see if he's going to have some copies there. I hope with a new game like that, it'd be nice to be able to get your hands on it because the roll and write's going to be hot. And I kind of mentioned this in the stream, but I love the name of this. I love the Imperial Settlers Roll and Write. It leaves nothing to the imagination. You know exactly what the theme is. You know exactly the type of game of it is. It's like so blunt that it's perfect. It's perfect. Let's see. And then after that at Gen Con, we do have the new Imperial Settlers themed Euro game. So I guess that's the big one that's going to be out there. We've got sprinkled out. He did mention some expansions that'll be coming out through the year. The one that Tony is excited about, the Robinson Crusoe, that will be doing. And then I bet we'll see some Monolith expansions that he just wasn't ready to announce. Obviously, the new cases for Detective. You got the LA case coming out soon. He did say he was going to drop back on the number of games that comes out this year, and I think that's great. I personally like it when publishers put out less games because you could put more focus on those games. There are some publishers out there that, man, I swear, it seems like we get a press release every week of a new game that's coming out, in the next few weeks. It's like you just can't keep up. So I like the idea of Portal kind of just focusing on this. We have games out there. We're going to support those games, put out new content. Such as Detective, expansions for other things. Right, we're going to go back, and it's 5-year anniversary of Imperial Settlers. I know I will be ordering the Imperial Settlers big box because right now I've got little boxes for Aztecs and Amazons and stuff all over the place. It'd be nice to get all the cards into one box. I think that's a great idea. So it's a banner year for Portal. Now, the only thing I'm surprised he didn't go into the whole 20-year thing. This is the 20th anniversary of Portal Games, so I was honestly surprised he didn't have a video montage of maybe looking at Portal through the years, some games they released early on, pictures of them early in the year. So I'm really surprised that he didn't put that together. Maybe on his YouTube channel, maybe eventually he'll do that in the future. Just catching up on comments here. Let's see. I did too, Ben. When they first started showing the animation for what was obviously Imperial Settlers, I thought there was an Imperial Settlers app coming, and I was kind of all over that, but that wasn't it. It was just an animated intro for the new game. No, I agree. I don't think, Bert says, I don't think the roll and write will be as popular or as good. I don't think it will be either. But hopefully the mechanics of the game are good. I mean, the theme is going to be lightly like Imperial Settlers, just in that universe. But if the game is fun, that's great. And the solo players is always a nice thing to have. Let's see. Perhaps there'll be more coming on the 20-year collection or new book. Yeah, maybe. When Ignacy, we talked to Ignacy earlier. Like I said, Ignacy didn't leak anything to us. He keeps stuff very close to the vest. So this is first time we're hearing any of this stuff. The only thing that I had any knowledge of was that the Rob Davio writing something, but I didn't know it was a standalone case. And that was just in passing. That was at Gen Con. It's like I'm looking at asking other people to help write cases, which I thought was a fantastic idea. Because I had asked about just getting well-known authors to write some scenarios and stuff. And that's where he said, well, what about well-known game designers? So that's where it came from. Oh, 51st playmat. Tony mentioned a 51st playmat would be nice. I agree. A playmat would be nice. I'm surprised there wasn't a 51st State announcement with any more expansions, because that game came out. It came out with, like, was it one expansion, one or two expansions, and then we haven't heard from them in a couple years. Let's see. I'm going to keep this thing just at an hour long, so we're approaching the hour. So if anybody has any final comments, some teasers on our episode that's going to be coming up on Tuesday, January 27, 28, 29th is going to be Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games came on the show, and we actually had a pretty serious topic. The topic was, is it harder now to come out with a hot game today than it was 10 years ago? And what does it take to make a game pop when there are thousands of games being released each year. The premise is that we played a game a few weeks ago when we thought, this game 10 years ago would have been really more accepted and more well-liked than it is today, because now it's in a sea of so many other games, it's hard for one game to stand out. So Stephen Bonacore came on and gave his thoughts on that, because he does have one of those games that came out and is super hot, and that's Imperial. Wow, I'm thinking Portal, and that's Terraforming Mars. So I asked him, what was the secret to Terraforming Mars? Did you get lucky? Was it good marketing? And he has some thoughts and opinions on that. So it's a really interesting discussion. Plus, we have some guests from Tantrum House on as they're promoting TantrumCon. If you would like to come to TantrumCon in the middle of February, Tony and I will be there for a day. We'd love to hang out with you. If for all those who listen and support the show, we thank you so much. I am drinking from the Rolling Dice and Taking Names Mason jar right now. We still have those available on you can either go to either one, podpledge.com or podgepledge.com. Thanks to Chaz. We'll talk about that in our upcoming episode, because Tony couldn't get it right. Chaz made it so that Podge Pledge will actually work for people. And we've also got the squirrelies that we're going to be working out. We've already got all the nominees set up. We've got the awards decided, and we're getting our guest right now. So that will be coming out at the end of February. Let's see. If there's no more questions or anything, then I would just like to thank everybody who tuned in and watched. I promise you, next time we'll do better. Now that I know how to pull off the stream. I'm not techie and savvy like, okay, no, I am techie and savvy. I just haven't had the experience of doing the streams like other people have, like Rodney and Chaz helped me out with setting this up. But next time, we'll get Tony on the show and get him working everything. I apologize for the issues in the middle of that, me trying to get in Tony and screwing up Ignacio's audio. I'm super sorry for that. Again, I'm sure they'll be reposting his full presentation over on the Portal site if you want to see that, not see my squatty little head down in the corner of the screen. Thank you all so much for